Well, I guess I gotta do another video. I mean, it's May 4th. Everyone's like, you gotta do a video today. It's the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. Got to do the video. I don't know. I've done like 5 videos in the last 3 days, but oh well.
It's May the 4th, dog.
It's May the 4th.
It's May the 4th.
It's May the 4th.
It's May the 4th.
Okay, I'll do one. It is May the 4th after all. I mean, how could I not do one today? What kind of jams do I want to listen to get me in the mood? Let's see here. Something good. Something I haven't heard in a long time. Something that'll put me really in a Star Wars mood. Here we go. May the Force be with you. And yes, we're going to talk Star Wars. In fact, this is the second episode of our look back at The Empire Strikes Back. And this time, Kenner was ready. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with another video. Just can't quit making videos, can I? So what are we going to talk about? Well, this month I'm looking back at the release of Empire Strikes Back for its 40th anniversary. Last week, on May 1st, I looked back at news articles leading up to the release of the film. And today I'm going to look at the first wave of action figures released by Kenner for The Empire Strikes Back. Before that, as always, like to support this channel, head over to patreon.com, become a Patreon supporter, get some exclusive content, and or go to thatjunkman.com and buy some cool t-shirts. Like this one right here. Might go buy that right now. Now, this time, Kenner was ready. As many of you know, in 1977, Kenner didn't have any Star Wars action figures on the shelf. And that year, Christmas was called Black Christmas. It's known as one of the worst Christmases ever because there were no Star Wars toys. But in 1978, Star Wars figures got released by Kenner. It took almost a year after the film was released to get to the toy stores. But don't worry, this time for the 1980 release of Empire Strikes Back, Kenner was ready. They weren't going to have to sell an empty box this time. One of the first Empire Strikes Back action figures might have been Boba Fett, although at the time he was first seen on the holiday special. He was a mail-in offer, so that was technically the first Empire Strikes Back action figure you got. But there was another mail-in Empire Strikes Back figure to get before the release of the film. That was the secret figure. In 1979, they had an offer for a secret figure from The Empire Strikes Back. It's no secret anymore. That was a Boss action figure. Not too shabby to get a free Boss. I mean, they could have slapped FX7 in there or something. One of the first times the public really got a good look at the Empire Strikes Back figures were at Toy Fair in 1980. A lot of things on show there were still from the Star Wars film, but they did have some Empire Strikes Back goodies to show off. One thing was a cardboard mountain painted white, I guess to represent Hoth, and standing on it was not only the figures that were already released, but the upcoming Empire Strikes Back figures. Also on the wall, you could check out some of the figures carded. It's odd that a lot of the toys shown from the Star Wars line in the 1980 Toy Fair didn't even get released in 1980. They also had televisions on show so they could air the commercial. Also at Toy Fair, you got the first look at the only official Empire Strikes Back large-size action figure. Again, Boba Fett is from Empire, but was released in the Star Wars package. Some lucky guests got to see some of the Star Wars playsets in action. Like this old bitty grandma right here. She doesn't look too thrilled about the Hoth playset. Move out the way, lady. Star Wars ain't for you. Look at those pants. Looks like they're trying to eat her alive. Who does she think she is, Fred Mertz? Before we look at the new figures from The Empire Strikes Back, let's look at the back of the Empire Strikes Back card. There you can see the new 10 figures from Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. And there a picture of probably one of the most popular Kenner Star Wars items, the Darth Vader carrying case. You also get a look at the Star Destroyer action playset and the Hoth Ice Planet playset. So what was the 10 figures you got? Here they are. IG-88, one of the bounty hunters seen in Empire Strikes Back for about 1.2 seconds, was the only figure that came with 2 guns, a rifle and a pistol. One figure kids were probably screaming for after they walked out of seeing Empire Strikes Back was FX7. He might look like the coin-operated vacuum machine used to vacuum out your car, but he's got it where it counts. Another figure released in the line was Bespin security guard. To me, he always looked kind of like Biggs Darklighter. The first and only female out of the 10 figures, that female figure was of course Princess Leia in her Bespin gown. We got a new Luke Skywalker figure, but he still came with a yellow saber. Sure, stormtroopers are great, but not as great as the Imperial Stormtrooper in Hoth battle gear. I never really understood why they couldn't just wear their normal armor. And we also got a figure that for many years I thought was Luke Skywalker and would play with it like it was a Luke Skywalker figure. But it wasn't Luke Skywalker, it was a rebel soldier in Hoth battle gear. But then again, Luke Skywalker was on Hoth, he was in a battle, he wore gear, and he was a rebel soldier. So I guess technically it could be a Luke Skywalker figure. One of the newest characters from the film was of course Lando, and he got his own action figure. And the secret figure that was already showing up at mailboxes was released, and that of course, like I said before, was Bossk. And one of my favorites as a kid to play with was of course Han Solo in his Hoth outfit. Man, I love that Hoth figure. Me and my brother, when you play Star Wars, we would get out the shoebox where we kept all our Star Wars figures. He would pick a figure, I would pick a figure. He would pick a figure, and I would pick a figure. Play with. And I would always go straight to that Han Hoth. That was my first choice to pick. Good times. I love that Han Hoth figure. Maybe it was because he had a working holster. Maybe that's the reason. Who knows? And that's it. Just 10 figures released. But don't worry, there was an 11th figure added a few months later. Not wanting to spoil the look of the Jedi Master Yoda, Kenner held off from putting his picture on the back of the card and releasing Yoda with the other 10 figures. But before the end of 1980, Kenner did release Yoda. And here he is right here. He might be small, he might be green, he might talk funny, but he's no Kermit the Frog. It's Yoda. And that's it. We didn't get any new Empire Strikes Back action figures until 1981. Oh man, we had to wait a long time. But it wasn't that bad because you only get one figure maybe once a month if you were lucky. Unless it was a birthday or Christmas or something. And then you might get 2. Well, I want to thank you for watching. And as they say, may the 4th be with you. Are you tired of hearing that yet? Of course not. You're a Star Wars fan. And tomorrow's the 5th, so we can start saying Revenge of the 5th. And then I guess it's May 6th, so we can say Attack of the 6th. Guess. Anyway, thank you for watching. As always, please subscribe to the channel. Thumb up so I know you like my content. Until the next video, we'll talk again.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.